Remakes of Pokemon games have been a massive part of the Pokemon franchise since the beginning of Generation 3, when Fire Red and Leaf Green made a reinstatement of Red, Blue, and Yellow on the Game Boy Advance. However, could BDSP and Legends Arceus be the end of the remake era? Let's talk about it. What's good, Chaotic Nation? It's your boy Chaos here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to talk about some of my thoughts on Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and Legends Arceus, and why I might believe that they could be the final remake games of the Pokemon franchise. Now, Pokemon's been doing remake games since all the way back in Generation 3. Obviously, I mentioned Fire Red and Leaf Green, but every generation up until Generation 4 has received a remake. We have the remakes of Red, Blue, and Yellow and Fire Red and Leaf Green, the remakes of Gold, Silver, and Crystal and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the remakes of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and finally, now we have BDSP as a remake of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. However, that might be the end. And why that might be the end is simply because of the way that BDSP came out. I hesitate to ever call BDSP a remake of Diamond and Pearl. It is, in my opinion, more of a remastered, a game with a new texture, a new skin, updated for the newest system, and that is about it. There's not a lot of features from the game that have made its way over from Diamond and Pearl to BDSP to make it that much of a significant difference. In other games, we have new mechanics like Mega Evolution and Oras. We've had new regions to explore in the Sevi Islands in Fire Red and Leaf Green. We've had new places to go and more Pokemon that have been introduced to the game in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and even the walking mechanic in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But in Diamond and Pearl, everything is available that is available in BDSP. You have the underground mechanic, that's still in Diamond and Pearl. The Frontier is still in Diamond and Pearl. The League and everything else is the same as it was in the base game. And this could be the end for remakes as we know it. The big difference with BDSP from its original counterpart and from the other remakes that have been made of Pokemon games is that it was outsourced to a company called Illica. Illica worked with the sprites and definitely has done some Pokemon work for Pokemon Home, but they did not do anything different with the Pokemon game. I don't know if this was a direct correlation from the Pokemon company directly to say, hey, don't change the game, just kind of remake it, remaster it, put it back out on the Switch. We're working on Legends Arceus, and that's what we're going to focus on. However, it didn't change anything, and I know the fact that a lot of people that I have talked to, a lot of people that I've seen particularly post about, mostly content creators and some other influencers, have stated that BDSP really isn't that different from Diamond and Pearl, and it's not really worthwhile playing. In my opinion, I'd rather just play Diamond and Pearl because that's going to be the case of the game anyway. There's really not enough differences. Honestly, Platinum is better than both of those two games, both Diamond and Pearl and BDSP, so just play Platinum version. You get more access to Pokemon and a little bit better of a story. Like, the only really good thing BDSP did was its lead. And this is not a video to hate on BDSP, but more of a video to explain that the way that they did remakes in the past is kind of seeing its end as a way to make games faster and to keep up with the demand of the Pokemon fans. Outsourcing the game seems like a viable option to Game Freak in order to have remakes of games, but also get working on newer games and newer titles. So this could be the end of remakes. The reason Legends Arceus ties into this is because Legends Arceus is another style of reimagining of a particular area or region. Sinnoh got two different remakes in the last year, including BDSP and Legends Arceus. Now, Legends Arceus isn't a faithful remake like BDSP was, but it is very, very similar to the way it would be played. The entire mechanic of the game is overworld Pokemon and wild, like a wild area type open world game. It still is a remake or a reimagining of Diamond and Pearl. It's a new region called Asui, which is ancient Sinnoh. It gives ties to some of the ancient ways that people had relationships with Pokemon. It gives us a little bit into the story of Palkia, Dialga, and Arceus. and the red chain and the history that was given in Celestica Town and through Cynthia's grandmother and her lineage. It also has a new feature of being a new style of remake. This is a game set in the ancient past, not in the current present timeline of Pokemon. Typically, Pokemon has the timelines of the non-Mega and the Mega timeline, where it goes through the generations of Pokemon saying, here's when the order of events happened in the Pokemon universe and why we're finding newer things as we go along. And then the Mega timeline, where it explains Mega Evolution, like Gigantamax and those kinds of things. But this is placed way in the past, at least hundreds of years before the events of the original games, whatever you may think the first game in the timeline may be, because I know that's still a debatable topic. But way before that was the Hisui region and Legends Arceus. And this game shows a difference. There's no gyms, there's no settlements besides the one in Jubilee Village. There's only wild Pokemon in the region that is out there for you to explore and find. And the reason this works for the game is it's really big into exploration, it's really big into the lore of Pokemon, and a lot of fans were excited about it. It has a lot of connections to the ideas that we had seen with Cyrus and his plan in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And we get to see that unfold in a different way and learn about what had happened in the past that, you know, Cyrus might have known about and then created in the present. So Legends Arceus ties into the timeline here and ties into potentially getting rid of remakes, because this style of game is more or less a better telling of the game. It gives us a new perspective on our beloved classics, things that we have definitely played over and over again. Like, we get to see the Sinnoh region in a completely different way, where human establishment of towns and resources and abundance just aren't there, and we get to just experience Pokemon in the wild like it was in ancient times. The problem with Legends Arceus is its replayability. And that's not something that's very hard to see if you've ever tried to play the game again. There's not enough for the players to get behind in order to make it a good experience the second time around. If you played it the first time, you might be like, this is the best game ever. And I definitely thought that myself. When I played Legends Arceus for the first time, I was considering it to be one of the best Pokemon games out there, one of my favorites that they've ever released. And having played through it a second time, it kind of sucks. It doesn't have enough replayability. The battle style doesn't give way to new challenges. It doesn't give attitudes for difficulty. It's kind of just a game. You get some Pokemon, you catch them, you do the story, and that's it. There's no battling, which was a big feature of Pokemon. There's no gym challenge, which is a big feature of Pokemon. There's no league, which is a big feature of Pokemon, and they call it a main series game still. I think that the difference in our remake games are going to be more towards the Legends Arceus side of things. They're going to be reimaginings of Pokemon, maybe in a different time slot, maybe in a different way. We've already seen it a little bit with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where you're not playing as Red, you're playing as a Red-like character who has a rival that is like Blue or like Green or like Gary, but they're different. We see Red and Green and Blue in the timeline of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and despite the fact that the games didn't have that much difference from their traditional playstyle besides the overworld Pokemon, it still kind of played the same and was maybe an attempt originally for Game Freak to try to see what new things they could incorporate to make different remakes going forward. Legends Arceus definitely is another step in that direction. It definitely was a test and a precursor to Scarlet and Violet with the overworld features, and we're going to see that more in the new games once they come out. Could Legends Arceus be what we're going to see from the rest of the Pokemon remakes? Would Black and White be maybe like a Legends Kyurem? Would we go back and see Legends Celebi or Legends Suicune or something like Legends Mew? What is going to be the differences in Pokemon coming forward? And I really think they could go a lot of different ways with it. If I'm being honest, I think they're look at the money aspect of things, do the outsourcing of a traditional remake that is basically a reskinning on the new platform, on the new system, and then maybe dive into some more ancient lore Legends Arceus style games. neither of which I really consider a remake. It's more of a retelling and a remaster. A remake is not getting released. And that is why I think remakes are kind of gonna be extinct. I think we've seen the path that Game Freak chose, neither of them being remakes, and the way we used to know remakes might be no more. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed some of my thoughts. I know it's a little bit different style of video, but if you want to see more from me, you can definitely go down below, hit that subscribe button, and leave a like, because it really helps us out here on the channel and to reach new audiences, and share it with your friends. That's a great way to get us out there and to support the channel. If you want to support me further, you can check out some more content on Twitch, on TikTok, on Discord, Twitter, and I have Invisible Corporations if you want to check out more content from me. Those are all linked down below in the description, so please go down there and check them out and enjoy the content on those platforms as well. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed. That's all I have for you, so until next time, my name is Chaos. I'm signing off. Stay safe, and as always, burn it up.